We're going to talk a little bit about composition now and composing very basic melodies to help you discover potentially a newfound passion in your piano playing. What can happen when we start to learn playing piano is we can get bored because basically we're playing other people's music or what's taught to us on top of a lot of exercises. And what we would like to encourage you to do, on top of obviously playing what you're told, is to be creative. And you might even discover like a newfound passion in composition or writing. But also it just keeps ideas fresh, and it can also really help benefit you in terms of hearing how structures go together and how sounds go together, because it gives you a sort of a much more critical ear in terms of what sounds nice, and it starts to make music make more sense overall. So definitely give a go to composition. Now I'm going to give you a really basic way of doing it, and it's based around chords 1, 4 and 5 of whichever scale you're choosing. So choose a scale that you're comfortable with, and that is going to be your key signature. Okay, now I'm going to choose A major because I do C major a lot and I fancy something a little bit meatier. So A major is this. It's got 3 sharps in there, and basically to find chords 1, 4 and 5 I need to turn the 1st, 4th and 5th degree of that scale into a triad. So needless to say, degree 1 of the A major scale is A, and then 2, 3, 4 is D, and then 5 is E. So if we take A, D and E, this is what chords 1, 4 and 5 sound like as simple triads. And that is the basis of so many songs, of so many different styles. You know, if you go back to classical music, that is in a major key, that is basically the 3 chords that a lot of music was based around. Today in modern pop and rock and roll music, there's so many things that are based around those chords, and there's loads of traditional tunes and folk tunes and things that are based around those chords as well. So they are so popular. So what do we do to make a composition? Well, basically the first thing we do is we take those chords and we play them in an order that we like. Just 1 bar each. Let's say we're going to take 4 bars. You can choose any number of bars that you want, but let's take 4 because it's a nice even number. Now, typically you want to choose a number that's divisible by 4 to make it all sort of progress and be symmetrical and nice and even, but why not experiment? Why not do 6? Why not do 7? Why not be weird? But you know, I'm going to stick to 4 just for the sake of this video and simplifying it and making it a slightly shorter run time for you to sit through. And let's say that we're going to take, well, let's start with A because it's a nice root, and then let's go to E, and then let's go to A, and then let's go to D. Now here's the great thing. That A major scale, one of the great reasons that scales is important to learn is because it really does help you understand what notes belong to which key signature. So remember, we've just done the A major scale. If I take that in a slightly higher register here, I can take any note from that scale and it will pretty much sound good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to experiment. So I've got this 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, and then I'm going to repeat it. And I'm not going to think of anything too technical, you know. Think about rhythms that you're already familiar with. So, for example, for a lot of beginners, they would favour crotchets and minims. So focus on crotchets and minims, right? And any notes. Obviously a little bit of improvisation, but basically we're not improvising to the point that we're just gonna play it and forget it. We're consciously thinking about what we're playing, so thinking about what notes sound good. Okay, that's nice. Personally, I like clashes, but a lot of people would hear that chord, you know, which is a C sharp over a D major chord, and like it. So what can we do? Well, let's think about it. We were in D major, D, F sharp, A. So let's just raise it up to the D and keep it there rather than going down. Maybe. Or obviously, yeah, it sounds a bit incomplete, doesn't it? Maybe if I went down to the A instead, because there's an A in a D major chord, so it'll work. I feel like it needs to go down. Maybe. Or maybe we could do one of each. So we'll take this first. And because the second one sounded a little bit more resolved, there you go, that was quite nice. I mean, that's a simple thing that you could do. But obviously, why not push yourself and think about rhythms that may be causing you a little bit of problems as well. When people start to think about swing rhythms, for example, that can really throw people, you know. So why not make a piece of music that's in sort of triplet quavers or crotchet quaver triplets, you know, so to give it that sort of swing effect, and then see if you can sort of or you could do you could do literally any rhythm. Yeah, anything is your oyster, really. But when you've done it, and when you've sort of maybe record it so that you don't forget it, when you've played it a couple of times, here's the key: notate it, write it down, and take it to your piano teacher, or maybe if you're doing it via software, play it back. And see if it tallies up with what you think it should sound like, what you've been playing. Because if it doesn't, then you'll need to adjust it. And if it does, it's a really, really great way to sort of reassure yourself that you are following music theory and that you're understanding it. And obviously, if it doesn't mean that you've failed, but it just means that when you start to adjust it and make all the corrections, it's going to really, really help you, because it's going to make things stick a lot more. If you've just got a piece of music in front of you and you're reading it, the moment's gone. When you sort of correct any mistakes, the moment's gone, but you're consciously having to think about this. So try it yourself, see what you can do, and come up with any kind of melody. It doesn't matter if it sounds like something that existed before, you know. You don't have to be entirely original. But just play around, be creative, and you may just find a brand new spark of joy in playing the piano.